Episode 11 starts with a brief recap of last episode. Nagi is saying one more goal. He pops it over the defenders and it's about to go in. However, Gagamoto saves it and Isagi recovers it. Isagi says this is their last chance. He can see it. He can feel it. The ones on the move are him and these three. This line of three smells like a goal. With his eyes and powers of foresight, he will lead them to the goal. This counter will be the last play. If they take the ball, it's game over. He won't let them get it, even if it kills him. He kicks it to Bachira and tells him to go. Slice through their lines with this uninhibited dribbling. They'll try to stop them even if it means fouling. Isagi calls for it back, so Bachira gives it to him. They won't let the ball stop moving. They'll just find another route. He can see it. Outrun them all with those legs of his. Chigiri takes off. The defenders are saying they need more people. Chigiri thinks so they're wary of him, huh? However, he's snapped out of it by Isagi calling for a pass. Chigiri thinks he always takes up good positions. Let's cut through them, together. But instead of pushing together, Isagi goes down the middle. Chigiri wonders, did he use him as bait and carry on by himself? Isagi thinks just how he imagined it. This'll work. He can control the field. He's going to score, no matter what. Kuon is telling himself that his body just reacted back then. It wasn't because he wanted to stop them. He felt like there was something more important than just doing nothing and winning. He remembers his past teammates giving up on him and asks, "Are you watching this? The old him from those days? The soccer he believed in back then? It's right here," and screams for them to go. Isagi says 2 more defenders. Kunigami and him will crush them. If they can get past them, it's just the goalie left. However, Zantetsu is faster than he had anticipated and is able to slide tackle the ball away. Kunigami screams if the ball goes out, they're done. But Raichi runs to catch up to it. He told them to score it, didn't he? And gives it to Bachira. Chigiri and Kunigami take off, telling Bachira to give it to them. Reo screams for his team to watch the middle. Don't let them shoot. Isagi thinks he can see it. Chigiri and Kunigami's routes. Those defenders will go to block them off. The far side, left of goal, 19 meters out, that's the territory that'll make his goal possible. And calls for Bachira. He knows he can see it too. Feel what he's feeling. Bachira kicks it. He trusts Isagi. He's betting on him to score with this last shot. Isagi tells him perfect. All he needs to do is control it and fire it home. He can do this. However, Nagi appears behind him, saying they meet often, don't they? Isagi asks, goal chance he could smell disappeared? What's this monster doing here? Nagi tells him right now, he's the most dangerous person on this field. Isagi wonders, what should he do? He needs to make a decision. He can get to where it'll drop 1 second before him, which means how he controls this ball will decide everything. However, Nagi cuts inside. If he slows down, he'll circle around and block the shot. Taking it down normally won't work. He has to pull off some supreme ball control that'll allow him to shoot while at top speed. Can he even do something like that? If it goes wrong, it's game over for them. It's no good. He can't conjure the image of the goal. He can see the future of this field. But it's not a future where they win. Nagi tells Isagi that he can't beat him. Chigiri and Kunigami are calling for the ball, but Isagi thinks no. He wants to win with his goal. Then thinks, his goal? Bachira tells him that's right. Remember his goal. Isagi gets it. Now he can see it. His mind got caught up on how to control the ball. The time spent taking the ball down made his future self a nobody. That won't do. That's always been the case. He has no speed, power, or technique. But the reason he's here at Blue Lock, and the final piece of his goal is something that gives him no time to catch up to the future he's in. His direct shot. Isagi kicks it. The goalie lunges for it, but the ball goes in. This is his formula for goals. This is the moment Isagi Yoichi awakens. Team Z begins to celebrate. Team V can't believe it. They lost? Nagi grabs the ball and tells Reo there's still time left. If they score 2 more goals, they can still... However, the whistle goes off, ending the game. Team Z wins 5-4. Nagi asks Reo, this is how it feels to lose after a serious fight, isn't it? It's hard to stomach. Kuon says those guys, they really did it. Kunigami comes up to him asking, what is he doing? Come join them. Kuon says, but he... Kunigami asks, why not? They won. But Raichi tells him, don't go forgiving him so easily, you wannabe hero. He's still a traitor, and he ain't letting him off the hook. But you know, if he hadn't flattened Nagi, they wouldn't have won. So yeah, come here, traitor. Kuon goes to grab his hand, but Raichi punches him. He's gonna hate him for the rest of his life. That's for betraying them. They're even now. The announcer tells them that all of Building's 5 matches have been completed. They will now announce the results of the first selection. The results of the 5-team round robin are as follows. In first place, Team V, 11 players progress. In the second place, Team Z, 11 players progress. And the top scorers of the disqualified teams, 3 players progress. Wanima Junichi, Nico Iki, and Baro Shoei. These 25 players advanced to Building 5's second Blue Lock selection. After that, they are celebrating their win. Lemon tells Igarashi and Imamura to stop messing around and help them get things ready for the celebration party. Kuon asks if someone can go grab them drinks from the cafeteria. Bachira and Isagi volunteer. As they're filling up their drinks, Isagi thanks Bachira for that last pass. He couldn't have done it without him. Bachira says, what is he talking about? He's not the one who did something awesome. He knows him. He learned something, didn't he? Isagi tells him yeah. He thinks he finally understands what his weapon is and where his talents lie. Even if he can predict a situation using his spatial awareness, that advantage gets cancelled out if he controls the ball before shooting. So he thought back on his other goals. That's when he realized that all of his goals have been direct shots. He took what he's been doing by feel and turned it into a formula. It feels like his time as a striker begins now. And apologizes, he didn't mean to sound so full of himself. Bachira tells him he likes that look on his face. Very egoistic. As they're messing around, they notice people leaving Blue Lock. He nearly forgot. They're forced to leave Blue Lock if they lose. It's all over for them. But he snapped out of it by Nico congratulating him on his advance. That game he lost because of his goal, it awakened him. Instead of restraining himself and passing to others, he switched his style and took shots himself. Thanks to his goal, he's still here at Blue Lock. He won't lose next time. He's the one who will crush him. Isagi tells him he's also here because he was there at that moment in that game. Bring it on any time. He'll beat him again next time. And thinks his goal put an end to someone's career. But it also spurred on someone else. He wants to win more. They return with the drinks, but everyone is passed out. That night, they went to sleep, savoring the taste of victory. The next day, Ego is telling them starting today, they will be doing some physical conditioning. For the duration of this training, they are not allowed to kick the ball. They start to complain, but Ego tells them Building 5 is the bottom of the pile, so don't get cocky only surviving that tournament. They'll train until he says stop. He tells them those in the top buildings were exempt from the first selection, and did state-of-the-art training instead, so they have to wait until they're finished. Be grateful that they're giving gangly, spineless nobodies like them the stamina training they need. Understand that they're the bottom of the bottom. After 10 days of conditioning, they're awoken by the announcer telling them the first selection is now complete. Those who have passed, put on their training gear and come to the central basement area of their building immediately. Raichi says, about time. If it'd taken a day longer, he would have trashed the whole damn place. Lemon agrees. He's going to take away the status of the higher-ranked players who've had it easy. Igarashi adds on, what's so great about being ranked higher anyway? Isagi says from here on out, they'll be fighting against high-ranked players. But he's not scared at all. He's excited to try out his skills. They walk into the room. Isagi thinks they're from other buildings. Wait, don't they look kind of beat? Isagi starts to notice people's ranks. Team W, ranked 237? And that's Team X over there. What's going on? Ego tells them hello. Good work on their physical conditioning. If they're astute, they might have already noticed. There are no players from buildings 1, 2, 3, or 4 in here. That's because only Building 5 exists in Blue Lock. They all believe they were at the very bottom of the pile, and battled through the first selection filled with stupid desperation. It was all a ruse he set up to destroy their half-baked confidence, and give them the hunger to become the best in the world. The players obviously start to complain. Ego tells him he's calling those sentiments half-baked. Take Noel Noah as an example. He is currently considered the best striker in the world, but he grew up in a slum in France, surrounded by crime and poverty. The only way to change his fate was with a ball. Soccer was literally his only option. There are countless strikers with similar stories around the world. Their hunger for goals is immeasurable. Since they were all born and raised in Japan, where losing doesn't affect their life, they will never know the level of hunger for goals those players have. Blue Lock exists to give that to them. In fact, they all came here wanting to kick the butts of those ranked above them, believing they could win, right? That hunger will become the ego that changes the world. They will begin Blue Lock's second selection. The first selection was about finding out what it means to be a striker, and turning 0 into 1. From here on, it'll be a battle of multiplying that 1 into 100 on this cutting-edge training field. The second selection consists of 5 stages. Only those who clear a stage will get to move on to the next one, and those who pass the second selection will participate in a training camp with the world's top players that he has handpicked. That's all he has for them. When they're ready, go through the gate one at a time. Naturally, the difficulty spike from the last selection to this one is huge. If they survive the last round because they got lucky with teammates, prepare yourself. In the second selection, the trash will be sifted out first. Only the true egoists will remain. Best of luck. Isagi says to himself, from here on they're fighting alone. Everyone is hanging back. However, some guy kicks a ball up. Isagi thinks, what a clean kick into a high gentle arc. The guy kicks a second ball. Isagi says, now a low arching shot with curve and spin. The balls then collide. The group thinks, holy crap, he's amazing. The guy tells the door to open up. He's done with his warm-up. We find out that his name is Itoshi Rin. Igarashi wonders, is this place swarming with unreal monsters like him? Isagi tries to calm him down. Remember what happened with Team V? They're also unreal, aren't they? Igarashi says that's true. His face block was unreal. Kunigami tells him no, his shots were more unreal. But Bachira tells him not. His dribbling was even more unreal. Shigiri tells him that's bull. If it weren't for his legs, they would have lost. Raichi says what? It was because he had the midfield locked down. Kuon adds on. He also did his bit defending with that red card. Gagadamaru tells him he contributed too. Like, a lot. Lemon tells him don't forget his super save. Igarashi tells him his goal was unreal. He's going to be the best in the world. Lemon screams out they're all unreal. Let's meet again on the other side of Blue Lock. Isagi goes in next. The doors open, but the episode ends. Some personal thoughts. This episode was so good. I feel like I keep repeating myself with the show, but every episode is just so fun to watch. The animation, the art style, it's just really nice to look at. I like the twist that Building 5 is the only building. I'd be interested to find out how Ego was able to come up with all this, but I doubt we'll get anything, but who knows. If you're a manga reader and it's already explained that, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm looking forward to next week and finding out what this next selection is going to be like. But that's about it. So yeah,